This Israeli developer is building a controversial real estate project in Kenya.
We want people who come to live with us and live our dream together with us.
And people across Kenya are outraged.
So in Kenya right now, there is an Israeli investor trending, has purchased 520 acres of land and currently is farming on it and is planning ahead, building estates and all sorts of developments on the land. And this has raised a lot of concern on the internet. People from the Middle East sharing their thoughts.
Africa is getting recolonized. That's a fact.
Is Kenya losing land to Israel?
Colonial Israel is getting ready to enter the fray.
The developer says he wants Israelis to come to Kenya and create an agricultural community with Kenyans.
We want to bring the dream of a community between Israeli teenager and Kenyan teenager.
How did you identify this land?
I think God brought me here.
But this Kenyan lawyer who wrote about the plan says many in the country feel it dredges up memories of when Kenya was a British colony.
To see new people coming in, buying large tracts of land, reawakens that feeling of dispossession. And then the added drama of it being an Israeli person in the midst of the genocide.
Many Kenyans learned about the 520-acre land development project when the Israeli investor was interviewed on a Kenyan TV show. The show normally features Kenyan stories, but this episode featured his pitch to sell residential and vacation homes on land he says will include a school, a mall, infinity pools, and even zip lines.
These are up for grabs. You can have your home here.
You can have it here. This is a piece of dream.
For many, anger stems from where this project is located. A privately owned dam in this very region collapsed in 2018. The flooding killed dozens and displaced thousands.
For years, they tried to seek compensation from the government, but there was radio silence. The next thing that we hear about Solai is the settlement, 520 acres and a foreigner.
Jahira says the controversy around the plan also brought to light a little-known fact about Kenyan history.
In the past, before settling on Palestinian land, one of the options considered was Uganda and Kenya.
It's true. In 1904, the Zionist Congress sent a commission to explore Kenya as an option for Jewish settlement.
Before the British decided to finally pick Palestine.
Today, Kenya actually has strong ties to Israel. The Kenyan government has been one of Israel's closest partners in Africa for decades. Israel has trained the Kenyan army, and Kenyan authorities have used Israeli security technology to spy on activists.
Israel then becomes the face of oppression for Kenyans. We would probably be one of those countries to provide the avenue, together with Somaliland and their recognition, for Israel to establish more bases here. And so it cannot therefore be said that a land ownership can be innocuous when we juxtapose it with all these other actions that we feel Israel is responsible for in the country.
While it may be true that for some, this project is an attractive land development plan, for others, it's raised complicated political questions and brought painful historic legacies back to the surface.
We don't want to go back to the times when we had to fight for our own land.
Because what you mean, Israelis have been seen over the past few weeks buying huge plots of land in both Patagonia and Kenya and setting up all Jewish settlements and societies. All this came after Israel started realizing that they were losing the war, and Netanyahu started questioning, was it even worth it for Israelis to remain in the plot of land that they're currently in? Which is wild, because I thought that land was promised to them 3,000 years ago, so why are they planning on moving?
Kenyans are angry that an Israeli man wants to bring teenagers from their country into Kenya after buying 520 acres of land in Solai in Nakuru County. Listen to this.
We want to bring the dream of a community between Israeli teenager and Kenyan teenager. So in Israel we have a school that's called Land and Earth, and we want to open here another branch of the school for Kenyan people. So we want that the Kenyan people will come to visit Israel, and Israeli will come to visit here. So we will create a community of knowledge, information, and friends between Israel country and Kenya country.
According to an interview by Alex Chamwada, Erez Rifkin is using some of that land for commercial farming purposes. He has planted herbs, flowers, and even vegetables, and he is also selling some of that land to either build residential homes or holiday vacation homes. However, some netizens are not happy that Myahudi has a piece of land in Kenya, and this is what they had to say. Purity said soon they will have a base there and push some of the community out and claim the area as theirs, in the sense they have developed it, just like they are doing it in Gaza. Tommy said Palestinians welcomed them. Now we can clearly see the results. Kenya needs to be careful with immigration and property ownership. Anthony said we need to change these foreign land leases from 99 years to 10 years. And from my knowledge of the law, no agriculturally viable land is to be sold to a foreigner unless under special circumstances. And we must have a limit as to how much total land area can foreigners own under lease in Kenya. Rifkin says this is a family business. He has employed over 800 workers in Nakuru, and he has been in Kenya for around 15 years.
It is not just a piece of dream and a view of Lake Solai and the quiet place. It is also a place where we dream to bring from Israel, where we based from, where we came from, 15 years ago to Kenya. We want to bring the dream of a community between Israeli teenager and Kenyan teenager. So in Israel we have a school that's called Land and Earth, and we want to open here another branch of the school for Kenyan people. So we want that the Kenyan people will come to visit Israel and Israeli will come to visit here. So we will create a community of knowledge, information, and friends between Israel country and Kenya country.
Is Kenya losing land to Israel?
What?
Let's talk about this guy. His name is Erez Revkin, and he allegedly owns 520 acres of land in Solai, Nakuru County. So he has spent 15 years building greenhouses, solar panels, park houses, and boreholes, and now a master planned residential retreat where he has invited buyers to purchase a plot and plug into his farming value chain for income. Bado akona plans za kubuild an infinity pool, I don't know what that means, a zip line, a restaurant, and an open mall that is 70% done, and an agricultural international school. Looks like a beautiful project, and I'm sure the community is proud of the progress. But there is a problem being raised. Under the Kenyan constitution, a foreigner cannot own freehold land and can only lease land for up to 99 years. As Alex Chamoda showed the progress, Wakenya waliona tu land, and it's normal because our generation and the older generations grew up knowing the most important thing is what? Land. Na pia, Solai, the area that the Israel guy has invested in, has been in the limelight not so long ago. On 9th May 2018, a dam owned by another foreigner by the name Mansukul Patel burst, killing at least 48 people. The Water Resources Management Authority came out ikasema that the dams on the property were not properly licensed and were illegal. So it's not an illegitimate concern that Kenyans are raising about the land owned by Revkin. Na hii kiendelea, county government ya Nakuru imepartner na Israel to bring an establishment of a Nakuru Israel Agritech demonstration and training farm that would serve as a learning hub for local farmers and professional exchange programs that would provide opportunities for Nakuru experts to train in Israel. But anyway, back to Revkin. His operation appears genuinely productive. He has used local materials in building, he has employed many locals, but Kenyans cannot forget what happened the last time foreigners possessed their land. The National Land Commission, according to Kenya Insights, has not addressed whether a non-citizen can legally be the ultimate beneficiary of a freehold residential development. So, should Kenyans be worried? Honestly, I think the concern is valid, but we also cannot ignore the jobs and investment. The real question is the law being followed? And until the National Land Commission gives us an answer, the tension won't go away. You can share this video widely for people to understand. I'm Eric Mugo.
So now, there are reports that have come out that an Israeli investor has reportedly leased 520 acres of land in Kenya's Rift Valley. Now, with plans to develop a large agricultural project alongside residential and commercial facilities. Now, hii project imeleta story mingi sana kwa mtandao. Reason B, ime bring up that whole conversation ya kitambo about foreigners and them being given land. And there are people who see it as an investment, job creation, agricultural innovation.
Yeah, and boost of development and productivity.
And others see that it's going to have long-term implications for local communities.
Which is almost true because of land and sovereignty. We know that.
And history.
And the historical.
There's history.
The historical part of it, yes.
But I decided to do some
research.
And I just decided to get key details of this land project.
Okay.
Of course, from some reports online. Now, the project nature, first of all, this is a private project. This is a private project.
So it's not the government investing. It's a private investor.
Yeah, it's not a government project. It's a private investor. Now, there's mixed-use development combining commercial agriculture, greenhouses, irrigation, and then there is the planned residential plots, a school, and tourism facilities. Then there's a controversy around it. People are asking, kwa nini mnawapatia this
huge
scale
chunk of land? Yeah,
exactly.
520 acres.
And then it also brings up the conversation about foreign control. Because as history has it, you know what happened to the people who were, for example, the people who were the first people to reside in Nairobi. It was their land. They wakasukuma kwa mahali penye. It's kind of semi-desert.
Yeah, true.
Right? And also it brings to how is this going to affect the local communities? Are they going to get jobs? Are we going to be having this conversation of ati mtu alikuja akachukua land yetu, sasa watoto wetu hawana mahali pa kwenda. This land is restricted because they lease this land. The locals can't access this land. There's that conversation.
Watu wangu tena wapigie story. Ndio ujue kama ina kuconcern. Hebu jibu kwanza hii swali. Mbona hapo katikati? Why is there a foreign flag in the middle of your country? Your flag ni foreign. Mbona iko at the exact middle, carved out at the middle of your country? History inaanzia po 2018. Pande ya Nakuru, Solai. Kuna dam huko inaitwa Patel Dam. We all remember that case where a dam burst and it flooded a whole area, leaving casualties, displacing people, around 40 people dead. Almost half of them, or at least half of them, children. What a coincidence. Unaona bendera tuna deal nayo. Hii dam, the locals walikuwa report iko na cracks. It's not safe. Kuna uwezekano inaweza fanyika. Gava ilifanya nini? Kubarizi as always. That is 2018. Nyuma kidogo, the year earlier, 2017, the president of that blue and the white flag alikuwa amevisit Kenya. So prezo alikuwa unye. Kuna venye walikuwa wamesaidiana time ya elections, so business mob unacheki. Kwa wale wanaojua. Sasa 2017 prezo akakam, 2018 hiyo dam ikabust. Fast forward to 2026, an Israeli entrepreneur or investor akona 540 hectares, see acres, hectares, there's a difference. Akona 540 hapo strong ama 520. What is the plan with that?
I want to bring the dream of a community between Israeli teenager and Kenyan teenager. So in Israel we have a school that's called Land and Earth, and we want to open here another branch of the school for Kenyan people. So we want that the Kenyan people.
Sijini maidipia manini. But sasa hao si wenye wanakam. Tunajua story yao, si eti hatujui. Kuna hizi Epstein files zimetokea. Hadi mtu anasikia woga akizitaja. Kuna hizo Epstein files zimetokea. Na the biggest funders wa hizo dhambi zinafanyika hapo ni wale. Tunajua kenye inaendelea Palestine. Watoto wanamadwa in broad daylight. Prezo wa inchi, he's a wanted criminal by the ICC, International Criminal Court. Ako wanted. Amesamoniwa lakini haja ikanyaga uko na hawezi kanyaga. Because at the end of the day, they are the powers that be. Sasa Wakenya mjue wenye inchi wamefika. Mjue pali mtaenda. Because wenye inchi wamefika. Na hawa mwezi wafukuza. Sijui tutafanya nini. I don't know. Someone help.
Kenyans, we don't learn from our mistakes, and this ignorance is concerning. Last week, niliwatch documentary inaitwa Daring Abroad by Alex Chamwada. This documentary ni a place inaitwa Solai. Before tuendelee na documentary, let's take a trip down memory lane. In 2017, Israeli president visits Kenya. Unye alikuwa preso at that time. In 2018, Patel Dam devastatingly collapses, ikamada wase more than 45 half of the figure being children. This also led to the displacement of the natives who occupied that area. Apparently, investigations for this incident has never been fully solved till date. Hii area ndo inaitwa Solai in Nakuru County. Hell of a coincidence, right? Now, recent reports have shocked the national headlines that it has been uncovered that this flooded land and the area surrounding it, measuring 530 hectares, has been bought by the Israel community. 530 yote? Kwani plan yao ni wicha? Ukitaka kujua more about this in detail, watch hii YouTube video. Let's jump right into the facts. Israel is known internationally for being the main cause of deaths, instability, and anarchy pale Palestine since way back in 1948 till date. Ukiwauliza why brutally attack them, wanakwambia ati ni juu the land in Palestine was promised to them by God in the Bible. Inafai kuonyeshe how heartless and greedy people can actually become. And it's devastating that even after all this is known internationally, the Kenyan government still allowed them to own land in our country. Keeping in mind that more than 73,158 Palestinians and counting have lost their lives in their hands till date. Mistake yao ilikuwa gani? Because they chose to fight for their land. Every sane country has strict land ownership laws. Lakini Kenya ni nani? Ndugu ya Singapore. Whole time, Kenyans are busy with the Russian guy and campaigning. Fellow Kenyans, fix your priorities before it's too late. Stop being part of a circus that will lead to your grave. Na sijui nani atawasaidia. Juu nikiangalia pale Palestine, usaidizi most washaipata ni kupostiwa pale Gram story. Hao viongozi wenyu, instead of fighting and whistleblowing these agendas in parliament na hizo offices zao, au already walishaanzanga campaign. Last question. Gava itakubaliaje watu wajenge kwa place isha experience flood, not unless hiyo flood inaweza kuwa ni riba za jaba. In Kenya, nothing is a coincidence. So think twice and extra before making a decision. Note this. President wa Israel is a wanted criminal by the International Criminal Court na hajawahi shikwa. Wananchi, nyinyi wananchi ama wenye nchi? Food for thought. Repost this video so that it can educate as many Kenyans as possible. Juu kwenye mnaelekea.
So the Israelis know that their time is coming to an end, so guess what they're doing? They're buying big-ass farmlands in fucking Kenya and trying to recolonize Kenya. And guess what? The Kenyans aren't here for it, and they've been talking about it. If you don't see it on the news, I just told you.
Erez Rivkin is an Israeli national who owns 520 acres of farmland in Soleil, if I'm saying that correctly, Kenya. I tried to look up the exact date of purchase. I could not find a date of purchase, but I did see that he has been involved with Kenya for more than 15 years. He says that he plans to export rosemary and other crops to European countries and integrate Israeli teenagers into Kenyan society. Now, there are a lot of opinions on this. Some opinions saying that they don't care about what's going on around the world. They're not going to turn away investors, even if they're Israeli. But there are other people like this individual. Lynn, a Kenyan influencer, says, quote, "What I find absurd is people trying to acquire large tracts of land here and then saying it's because Israeli teenagers can then integrate with Kenyan teenagers. Integrate how exactly? You benefit from our soil and cheap labor, and history has shown us that once interests are secured, you won't hesitate to distance yourselves from ordinary Kenyans." That's the concern people are raising. I found this laughable, that's why I want to share it, but immediately the response from Israeli society to the outrage that Kenyans are feeling by this 520-acre project is it's anti-Semitism. It's anti-Semitism because God forbid they have an opinion about large tracts of farmland being used in their country and how it's used, especially when Kenyan labor is going to presumably be used. I mean, they're not importing Israelis to be the farm hands, right? I feel like it's also important to remind people that originally the Zionist Convention considered establishing the state of Israel in Uganda. They eventually settled on Palestine, which again defeats all of their religious arguments, but they have an interest in Africa. Netanyahu not too long ago said once they liberate the Arabs, they're going to liberate the black people of Africa. Like, what are you talking about? I don't even know why we brushed over that so quickly. But given what we've seen from Israel's behavior in Cyprus, in Palestine, in Lebanon, in Syria, in Yemen, etc., 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 everything needs to be taken with a grain of salt. So even though there are Kenyans that are saying, well, it's just an investment, we're going to see it just as an investment, I'm sorry, I don't see it as anything positive, and I can't see it as anything positive, and I would just say be careful.
Hey, so I uploaded a video last year, about last year, where I detailed all the African countries that were planning on selling land to foreign entities so that they can build satellite tech cities. I listed all the countries and the acreage of land that they were going to get. Nigeria is one of them. Kenya is one of them. I listed it. I made that video. It didn't go viral, but it got like 50,000 to 100,000 views total, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm saying this because people keep sending me videos and reels and news stories about Israelis buying 5,000 acres in Nakuru City in Kenya, and I'm like, but I already uploaded a video 2 months ago talking about, hey, look at what they're planning. They plan on buying cities in every country. They're planning on building and installing themselves in there, and from there they're going to be a hub of power. I said it. They're building basically. What is the name of this fucking town in South Africa that is for whites only? That's what they're building. I made a video about it. I don't know what no one said anything, no one did anything, y'all just sat down on your asses, continued watching my videos in the comments talking about, oh yeah, Africa is doomed, oh yeah, oh, white man cannot do it, Jesus will save us. I don't know what the fuck y'all want. I made a video about this a couple months ago, and now that it's been announced that Israelis have bought land in Kenya, why you send, I made a video about it, the Kenyans did nothing. I don't know what you want me to do.
They can't accept this because this is too much. Because when the government doesn't show any interest in things like this, in the near future, before they know, half of their land is gone. Half of their land is being purchased by foreigners who can later decide on what to do with it or what not to do with it. So my concern, I would say, this issue of foreigners, acquiring a huge number of land over the years has been something that Africans in their country, fight against, because we know every country welcomes investors, but to an extent like this, and some Africans still believe that these Israelis, we knew them in the Bible, they are still the same people. No, just look at what is happening in the Israel right now. We know they were once known for acquire a peaceful nation and all that, but now it's not the same thing there. So we really need to be careful how we grant and open, our nation to some of these people and the things we give to them, because land is very, very important in every year, in every century to come. You will need land in the next 100 years. You will need land in whatever you want to do. So we should be careful, because when we are not careful, the people within that area or that vicinity in the future, they might be, pushed away or told to move away from the land because it's no longer a property of theirs.